Hi friends, today we have got a very important question of motion in plane, and we will be trying to solve it and learn the new concept. On this concept many times the questions are asked in JEE and NEET. So a very important question is it. Let us try to understand. Question is, a point moves in a plane xy according to the law x is equal to a sine omega t. It means there is some point that is moving whose x coordinate is changing with respect to time as a sine omega t. Okay. Y coordinate is changing, that is a 1 minus cos omega t, where a and omega are positive constant. A and omega are the constants. The distance, find the distance traversed by the point during time t. Here a question is being asked that what will be the distance traveled by this point in time t. Let us solve this question. First of all, if I write the position vector of this particular point, that will be something like that a sine omega t I cap plus a 1 minus cos omega t into j cap. Here x coordinate is associated with I cap, y coordinate is associated with j cap, as I and j are the unit vectors of x and y axis. Now if we differentiate, we will get the velocity vector. It means the velocity vector will be something like that, dr upon dt. This will be d by dt of a sine omega t I cap plus a 1 minus cos omega t into j cap. If you differentiate, what you will get? Sin omega t will be differentiated with respect to t. We will get a omega cos omega t I cap plus, here mine cos is differentiated to minus sign, and minus minus will be plus, that's why I am using here plus, and we will have a omega sin omega t into j cap here. That is imparting direction. So here we are, with this differentiation we are well aware with the velocity component of this particular point, and the x component is a omega cos omega t and y component is a omega sin omega t. Now the question is, if we have to determine the velocity, the modulus of velocity, because distance is to be determined, so the modulus of velocity will be, modulus of velocity, it means magnitude of the velocity, will be under the root of x component square plus y component square. So that will be cos omega t, a omega cos omega t whole square plus a omega a omega sin omega t whole square. Now if you will solve, you will get a omega under root sin square theta plus cos square theta will be 1. So sin square omega t plus cos square omega t is equal to 1, and we will get a omega as the magnitude of the velocity vector. Now if you have to calculate the distance traversed, so that is very easy. We know distance traversed is equal to v dt modulus of v dt from 0 to t, the time limit that is given. Now this will be equal to a omega into capital T. So this is the distance traversed that we have calculated. Now the second question is the angle between the between the point velocity and acceleration vector. The second thing is that you have to calculate the angle between the point's velocity and acceleration vector. So first of all, we need to calculate acceleration vector, and acceleration vector is nothing but the differentiation of velocity vector with respect to time. You already know rate of change of velocity with respect to time is acceleration. So if you differentiate this velocity vector, what you will get? You will get a omega minus of a omega square sine omega t cos is differentiated to minus sine I cap plus a omega square cos omega t, because sine is differentiated to cos, and this is j cap. Now we have the acceleration vector and velocity vector. To calculate the angle, just you have to do the dot product. You have to do the dot product. And when you will do dot product, what you will get? You will get a dot v. If we do a dot v means dot product of acceleration vector and the velocity vector, that will be equal to for sure minus a square. We are just doing dot product of velocity vector and acceleration vector, minus a square omega cube cos omega t into sin omega t into sin omega t plus a square omega cube into cos omega t into sin omega t into sin omega t. Let us clear this board over here of what we will get. Just I am erasing the upper part. Here I can erase. So that will be equal to it is not working. The summation will be equal to 0. The summation will be equal to here 0, because both terms are identical, and they are just identical. We are just multiplying, doing dot product, so we are getting 0. And if dot products of two vectors, if the dot products of two vector is uh, 0, it means what? That angle must be equal to pi by 2. You know cos 90 is equal to 0. So that is the thing. we must be very much clear that angle between the acceleration vector and velocity vector of this point, that is following this law, that x is equal to a sin omega t and y is equal to a1 minus cos omega t, is 90 degree, that is equal to pi by 2 radians. Okay, thank you.